I hope you're doing well under these unique and trying circumstances. Much of the world is closed down or operating under very different and very difficult conditions. The reason I'm here today is that Cambridge University Press cannot mail out hard copies of the journal. However, the Society for American Archaeology wants you to access and enjoy the journals. Today, I'm going to show you how to access the SAA journals online. By way of introduction, I served as Vermont State Archaeologist for nearly 40 years and retired in 2014. Now, perhaps you have never been on the SAA website. Today's a good day to visit the site and discover all the great information that it offers. So first things first, we're going to start out by, I'm on this Google search engine, and I'm on this Chrome browser. So Chrome is that little arrow down there. I am going to type in SAA.org. If you forget that, just type in Society for American Archaeology. And then I'm going to hit enter. And here is our wonderful home page or landing page. Over here is a little member center login. And there's a little pop-down menu, and we're going to go to Access Journals. So the next page that pops up is our sign-in. So we are entering a portal of the SAA website that is for members only. So I'm going to put in my username, which is my first name. I do not think it matters whether it's upper or lowercase. It's not sensitive. That's my username. And then I'm going to put in my password, which you will not be able to see. And I do not remember my password because I have hundreds of them. So I have a book, keeps track of all my many passwords. So this is a little box here, keep me signed in so that you can come back into this page anytime you want. So I'm just gonna, why not, click that. And then I'm gonna hit, before I sign in, by the way, I just want to show you, in case you've forgotten your username or forgotten your password, obviously here's your little tools so that you can get back, recover your username, and then create a new password. So that's easily done. Don't worry if you forget these kinds of things. Do it all the time. So I'm now going to sign in as a member. So here we are then on the publications page, and what you're seeing, you can see here it says Access Journals. This is the page we're on. You see we have American Antiquity, Latin American Antiquity, Advances in Archaeological Practice, and the memoirs of the Society. And before we move on though, I did notice something that I was not aware of, which is why I was talking about our browsers earlier. It says, having trouble accessing the journals, it could be due to your web browser. If you're using Firefox, please review our instructions on how to access the journals using Firefox. So just a heads up here, if you do use Firefox and you're having trouble, here's the fine print at the bottom of the first page. So be aware of that. So American Antiquity is the journal that I have specifically been subscribed to for 45 years, and that's the one that I'm going to use as our training item today. So I'm going to click on American Antiquity. So when I click on American Antiquity, what pops up is a new page and a new tab, and it's your Cambridge University Press. And specifically, it's an area of Cambridge University Press called Cambridge Core that has just this vast amount of information available. But it is the partner with the SAA in the both publishing the journal, mailing out the journal, which they cannot do now, which is why we're here, and providing the digital access. So here we are, American Antiquity. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and here is our latest issue. And we basically have all the contents of the journal right here that you can access in many different ways. This is an incredibly rich page in terms of your options. And so you can start right in. So this great forum article, I want to read it right now. I am excited about reading it right now on my laptop. So I'm going to hit this HTML. And what it does is a new tab opens up and I can read this right now. So this little information bar is kind of annoying. So I'm going to turn that baby off. And here is my wonderful article about potential Pacific Coast peopling of the Americas. So one little feature that is available on any HTML viewing is that you can have a smaller font or your larger font. But there are many ways to enlarge your font if you don't know that already, and any 10-year-old can help you do that. So I'm going to go back to our training page. Pretend you want to read this one article. I only want to read this article, and I want to read it tonight on my laptop. So I'm going to hit this PDF, and I might not have internet if my power goes out. So this PDF document format pops up, and basically you have that article as an entire document, and you can see it's 21 pages long. And you can do various things. You can download it, and if you don't know how to download it and save it on your hard drive, again, ask any 8-year-old or 12-year-old. Here I would just download it under my to read articles and cancel. Or you can print it. And you have 21 sheets of paper. That's a lot of ink, but if you feel like printing it so you can bring it into your easy chair later, you can print it like that. So I'm going to go back again. I'm going to go back to here, and here we are. So these little boxes are very cool because you can say, okay, the only articles I want to download is I want to download this forum, and I'm really interested in this article. First thing I can do with these two articles is I can download them together in a compressed file. You can send these two articles that we have checked off, we can send them to Kindle, we can send them to Dropbox. If we want to share them with students or colleagues, we can send them to Google Drive, so we can do the same thing. So for sharing, we have some options. If you're doing research, you can export citations. Now, let's pretend I'm going to uncheck these, and let's pretend I want to download the entire journal because I love my issue of American Antiquity. It's not coming for the foreseeable future. The April issue is not going to be able to come in hard copy, and therefore I want the entire journal downloaded into my laptop. So here I select all, and it selects every single one of these articles all the way down. Book reviews, the whole 9 yards. And then once I've selected all the articles, I want to download them as a compressed PDF, which is what this zip is. And it might take some minutes, and then I will have them on my hard drive, and I won't even need internet to read them. So this is your very basic overview for looking at an issue of the journal. I'm going to scroll up here a little bit, and we're back to the beginning, the top of the page. There's this white bar, and right here you can see that we're in the latest issue. That's the spot where we've been working on in the last couple of minutes. There's this wonderful feature in Cambridge Core that I was not familiar with until this morning called First View. And First View means that some authors have finished their work ahead of time, and they've already submitted it to, it's gone through the society vetting, it's been edited, it's been formatted, and it's ready for publication. So here's Dave Thomas, who finished this book review, and it's going to come out in the April issue, and it's already. So if you want to look at articles that are not in the hard copy yet, maybe a few weeks ahead of time or even a month or more ahead of time, you can find them in this First View. So That's it right there, first view. So that is a very fun aspect of the Cambridge Core pages that I was not familiar with. So we've looked at first view, which is an early online publication, basically. We've looked at the latest issue, all issues. It's very cool. So many of us are isolated in our homes and really on lockdown, and this is such a great opportunity to reread things we haven't read in years. We refresh our memory, learn new things. There's so many new things to learn to keep our minds active. So right here we have 85 years of American Antiquity, and that is just the coolest thing. I don't know as much about Cahokia as maybe I should. It'd be really fun to see what's happening in the last decade versus the first decade of last century, or in the early years of the 20th century. So here I've got 48 results for Cahokia, same thing. So this is your search feature right here on the top. So I am going to go back to most cited. So I'm on that little white bar. I've been here on this little white bar, which is the heart of Saturday night for the Cambridge Core web pages. And most cited is ridiculously cool. I've never saw this feature before, but most cited is literally those articles that have been counted by some database, by an older database in this particular case, or a more recent database. See, I have this medallion that shows me I have 4 readers. And if you're looking for interesting, really well-written, paradigm-changing, earth-shattering articles of the last 85 years, this is the place to find them if you want to share them with students or send students into here, because they have access to this entire area of the website. This is a very cool thing I didn't even know anything about. I do want to bring us here. See these little medallions? So even though 492 people, or 492 citations for this article, I'm going to hit on this little medallion. And what the medallion is, coolest thing, is basically your analytics. So I think it's not your Google Analytics. Cambridge must have its own analytics. But basically this article on Tasmania, members of the public, science communicators, scientists, it gives you a breakdown, what countries people read it, were reading it in, and who are the people reading this. So if you are one of the authors, or if you're on tenure track, this is a very cool feature. So I'm going to go back to here. I think that, open access, we have not talked about that, which is very, very cool. So open access is a feature in which SAA, Society for American Archaeology, Cambridge University Press, and the authors of a given article collaborate, pay an extra fee, and ensure that their article is open to anyone. And that is the open access part. So can you see this little open lock? So every once in a while, and in every journal, in most journals, there will be an open access article. And open access, I'll show you how the non-members can access it, but it means that anyone in the world can read this article. Before I finish, and I'm just about finished, what I want to do is, remind you, by the way, every one of those pages, every one of these, latest issue, all issues, open access, most cited, first view, every one of those has this left side menu. So this is repeated over and over again, which is very handy for you to easily download, share, whatever you want to do with it. So I'm going to go back to the SAA page. So I was in Cambridge Core before when we were wandering through the journals, but I'm back here. And what I want to do is I'm going to do several things. First, I'm going to go back to the very beginning, our landing page. So here's this big publications box. So if I have to go into my member center login to access the journals, then what's this about? So I'm going to hit there. And here gives you just a little overview what the journals are. And this page is open to anyone. And this particular publication, I'm sure you know, is open to anyone in the world without being a member. So you have table of contents, you have the last 2 issues from 2020, and then you can drop down this little arrow and you have 19 years of the archaeological record. Completely free, available to anyone. If you have homeschoolers that might be interested in some of this content, friends, neighbors, educators, just make sure you're aware of that. So I'm going to go back here for a second. We have advances in archaeological practice, and we have American Antiquity, where we were before. So table of contents. It says to view tables of contents and free issues, visit Cambridge Core. So when I click on this Cambridge Core, it takes me into the public window of Cambridge Core. So if your neighbor is interested in archaeology, they can come into this window of Cambridge Core through that publications box. And they can, right here, open access, open that up, and they have access to every one of these articles. And I don't know how many there are here. I haven't counted them, but every one of these articles that says open access, the little unlocked lock, is open to anyone in the world. And the way you get to it, I'm going to go back here for a second, is right here on that box that said publications. So it's not in the member center login, it's in that box. I think that's pretty much all. Thank you so much for taking your time to hang with me for 15 minutes. Please, please stay safe and healthy and take very good care of yourself. And we hope you enjoy the SAA opportunities on this page. Take care.